Hi folks, Doug Wilson with Wilson Auto Group in Jackson, Mississippi. You know, your automobile is a complex mechanical product that requires maintenance, and not just oil changes. That's maintaining your engine, that's a good thing, but there are other systems on your vehicle that need to be maintained as well. I once had a customer who changed their oil every 3,000 miles religiously, but then when they had about 80,000 miles on the car, had a transmission failure and wanted warranty to cover it under our 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty. Unfortunately, warranty wouldn't cover it because they'd never maintained their transmission whatsoever. They'd never changed the transmission fluid like it talks about in the factory owner's manual. So while some things need to be maintained frequently, like engine oil, and other things like spark plugs need to be changed only very, very infrequently, there are 10 things at least that I've identified that I want to share with you on this short video. Number one is your engine oil. You know, we talked about that. Engine oil does break down. In the old car commercial about engine oils, talked about heat breaks down the viscosity in oil. Also, the additive package in the oil breaks down over time and it needs to be changed. All automobiles, including hybrids, have to have their oil changed, and all manufacturers recommend oil changes at certain intervals. Some as few as 3,000 miles, some as many as 7,500 or even longer. We recommend at Wilson Auto Group every 5,000 miles because 5,000, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is such an easy interval to remember. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about is your air filter. You know, your air filter screens dust and debris from outside of the engine, outside of the automobile, and prevents it from getting inside of your engine, which can cause very costly repairs to the internal parts of your engine. Plus, just like the air filter in your home can get clogged and so forth, same way with your automobile, it can get clogged and cause a loss of fuel efficiency. The third thing I wanted to mention to you was coolant and brake fluid. Those different chemicals that are in coolant and brake fluid especially, is very corrosive and can cause corrosion of the inner parts of the things that it's situated in. The hydraulic lines and fittings, the calipers of the brakes, as well as the reservoir. So most manufacturers will recommend that you change your coolant and brake fluid. Maybe not very frequently, but it should be changed before the life of your vehicle is used up. Tires, yes, even tires need to be maintained. What can you do for tires? Well, tires, we need to maintain the air pressure in the tires, because low tire pressure can increase the rolling resistance between the tire and the pavement, which increases the heat and the amount of friction that is generated, which can lead to blowouts, which is a very unsafe condition. Also, if your tires are not aligned properly, your wheels are not aligned properly, your tires are out of balance, not only is that uncomfortable and takes away from the ride of your vehicle, but it also can lead to premature tire wear and poor fuel economy. Another thing is the transmission fluid that I mentioned at the very beginning. It doesn't matter whether you have a standard transmission, a constantly variable transmission, or an automatic transmission. Nearly every manufacturer recommends transmission fluid replacement over the course of the lifetime because that fluid does break down because of the high heat that it operates in. If you tow or operate under very tough conditions, that probably needs to be done more frequently than the manufacturer recommends. Another thing is your brakes. If you took a hard piece of metal and another hard piece of metal and grinded them together constantly, day in and day out, actually hundreds of times a day, you would see a picture of your brakes at work. Both the rotor, the surface that the wheel is bolted to, and the brake pad itself cause fine particles to be generated. You can see that a lot of times on your front wheels on the brake dust that is there. That's little microscopic particles of your brake pad as well as your rotor that wear out occasionally. So you obviously have to replace your brakes pads as well as the brake rotors over a course of the lifetime of your vehicle. And because that's such an incredible safety item, and you just can't put a price on that, that's something that you want to check very carefully, perhaps at every oil change. Spark plugs is another thing. You know, the time was when spark plugs had to be changed very frequently. Nowadays, they don't have to be changed near as frequently because of the increased technology. But still, over the course of your vehicle's lifetime, the spark plugs will need to be replaced. That brings us to item number 8, which is your windshield wiper blades. Your windshield wiper blades are intentionally made of very soft rubber. And they're sitting outside in the summer heat, they're sitting outside in the freezing cold and the ice in the wintertime. They're operating when it's wet outside as well as when it's extremely dry, and that rubber breaks down over a period of time and causes it not to wipe as clear as it would, which can be a very hazardous situation if you need your windshield wipers and they're not wiping the windshield very clearly. So you need to replace your windshield wipers at least every year. Your fuel injection system. Although this generally isn't a factory recommended item, there is microscopic particles of trash and gasoline that can get inside those fuel injectors that are spraying an ultra-fine mist of gas and air into the cylinders of your vehicle. And when those can get clogged, then it could affect not only the performance of your vehicle, but also its fuel efficiency. And number 10 is your cabin air filter. This inside of your car has an air filter, many times on most vehicles nowadays, just like the inside of your home. It can get clogged and prevent the proper operation of it, as well as have you breathing air that's filtered through a really saturated filter that's saturated with dust and debris, which is worse than not having a cabin air filter at all. So there you have it. 10 items on your vehicle that generally need maintenance, and we'd love to help you maintain your vehicle too here at Wilson Hyundai and Wilson Kia on Lakeland Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. Find us on the web at www.wilsonhyundai.com or wilsonkia.com or wilsonautogroup.com. Happy motoring, and thank you for your time.